Changing Peach from a typical damsel in distress to a mentor-like figure is one of the boldest and best things the movie could have possibly done. And not just because it subverts your expectations by going against nearly 40 years of Mario games, but more because it was the best decision from a character and story perspective. I've even heard some people say that this is more Princess Peach's movie than it is Mario's. And while I don't really agree with that, given I've already made multiple videos about how it's Mario and Luigi's story, the fact that's even a takeaway someone could have speaks volumes about how far she's come, from being little more than just a love interest and helpless victim. Consider this. Peach has always inexplicably been a human. As in, the only human who rules over a land of mushroom people.
What?
This is one of the few points that couldn't be hand-waved away in the movie. Which is why the movie finally gives her a proper backstory, explaining she accidentally traveled to the kingdom as a baby before eventually being entrusted as the ruler of the kingdom. So of course she'd be proficient at surviving this world, having grown up in it all these years. And having her be a helpless victim would defy that logic entirely. After all, why would the Toads entrust her as their leader if she can't even protect herself? And from that premise, a stronger, more assertive personality type naturally follows, rather than the more reserved and arguably helpless Peach we often see in the mainline games. And now that we have a more proactive Peach freed of the role of being kidnappee, having her assume the role of Mario's mentor is straight up galaxy brain. Not only does it make perfect sense to the story, but it's a fun twist on an age-old formula that we thought we knew from the games, while also giving Mario and Peach a stronger foundation on which the relationship can be built upon in the sequels, which is smartly only lightly teased throughout this one. Which is exactly why it was a wise move to cut this short scene from the film.
You know, when we're done with all of this, I thought maybe you could come visit Brooklyn. I could show you around.
Because while it is cute on the surface, it ends up making Mario feel distracted from his core mission, which he had just been talking about seconds before.
We've never been apart this long.
Plus, the scene is made redundant by a much more fitting scene about 20 minutes later.
What are you gonna tell me next? That the turtles aren't evil?
Oh no, they're usually pets.
No way.
Come to Brooklyn, I'll buy you a turtle.
And that's not to say that the movie ignores the love interest entirely, but it wisely pushes it to the background for now, leaving plenty of room for a sequel to explore. Furthermore, this version of Peach helps brings unity to a weird disparity the series has always had involving her, where at most times she's portrayed as weak and useless whenever the mainline stories demanded it.
Mario?
Though at other times she's just as capable as anyone else, going as far back as the very first sequel to Super Mario Bros. So really, the movie finally portrays Peach in a coherent and logically consistent fashion, by elevating her beyond being just a MacGuffin.
I am not a prize to be won.
Finally, this change makes her a better villain too, as it allows Bowser to be an active antagonist in the story with a clear goal: marry Princess Peach in a fairy tale wedding, while stopping Mario to ensure that that happens. Consider how the story could have played out instead if it stuck closer to the games, where instead of finding the superstar at the beginning, he actually kidnapped Peach right away. What would Bowser's role even be then? He's already attained his own want, and wouldn't really have anything to do until Mario finally challenges him. Now, I'm sure there are ways in which you could make it work, and perhaps you'll see something like that in a sequel, but it would fundamentally be a very different movie. Plus, had they gone that route, we wouldn't have gotten this amazing take on Disney's typical I Want song.
Peaches, 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 peaches.
I didn't want to make a whole section about it or anything, but I really love how they portray Bowser here. On the one hand, being surprisingly endearing at times, even through his reckless actions, but without ever compromising the actual threat that he poses this time. In fact, it makes him scarier. I mean, this is a guy willing to sacrifice dozens of innocents as part of his fairy tale wedding. Bowser actually feels intimidating, as if he could fly off the handle at any point. He's clearly a force to be reckoned with, especially toward the end when he's acting entirely out of spite and vengeance, which makes Mario's reaction to standing up to him feel all the more powerful. Speaking of this amazing song, it's time to finally address what I think is the stupidest complaint about the Mario movie.
What?
That there's too much licensed music. But that's going to have to wait until the next part of our ongoing Mario movie analysis series, which you can ensure you don't miss by clicking the subscribe button and ringing the bell. And in the meantime, if you missed any of the 8 prior parts, just check out the playlist that's on the screen right now. And with that, we'll catch you in the next video.